Welcome to Leap Hackathon by Shadowfax and by FarEye. So today we have two very important guests with us. Vaibhav Khandelwal, he is the co-founder and CTO of Shadowfax. He actually founded Shadowfax in 2015 along with his batchmates from IIT Delhi, and since then he has developed several algorithms that help solve complex logistics problems and keeps Shadowfax ahead of the curve in a dynamic and fiercely competitive environment, as you already know. And a very fun thing about Vaibhav is that in his free time, you may find him performing in stand-up comedy routines in his favorite Bangalore cafe. Yeah. So we also have Subrat Joshi from FarEye. He's the chief product officer there. He is responsible for driving product vision and accelerating FarEye's global product expansion with a key focus on the customer's needs. He's based out of Seattle, and he has 20 years plus of experience in companies like Yahoo, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, and most recently Dropbox. So welcome Subrat, welcome Vaibhav. We're so excited to have you today with us. So we'll start with you, Vaibhav. The platform is all yours.
Thank you, Yashodhara. Thank you for the introduction. So, without spending much time, I'll just quickly start with the introduction here. So, see, as a hackathon, our idea is to look for quantum leaps. We actually brainstorm a lot about what should the name of our hackathon be. And what we felt was that we are not looking for incremental innovations here. We are looking for leaps. We are looking for a set of items which maybe at this current stage, they look like a moonshot, but they become a reality 4 to 5 years down the lane. And that is what we are looking out here. That is what we are calling out all the innovators to solve such problems. From a logistics perspective, the depth of problems are humongous. It's for those of you who like to optimize stuff, for those of you who would like to understand what goes under the hood, this is a perfect domain. And the kind of solutions, the kind of things which create a wow factor for us, they require a good application of technology to have it on a consistent, on a scalable manner. So yeah, that's the thing. We are happy to announce that we have received a registration of more than 200 teams here, and with each team of 4 to 5 members here. As most of you would know, winners would be awarded with exciting prizes with total prize money of 12 lakhs. I think, yeah. A brief introduction about Shadowfax Technologies. While we have been in business for like more than 6 years now, the thing is we always have been in the shadows per se. Shadowfax derives its name from Lord of the Rings character. I'm not sure how many of you would have noticed a white horse named Gandalf. So a white horse named Shadowfax, which used to be the most trusted horse for Gandalf the White. And so in Lord of the Rings, it was the most trusted and the fastest horse in that entire story. And that's how we take our name of the company here. We started in 2015, and we felt that the new age food, tech, and consumer startups would require fulfillment support. So we saw it across different countries. We saw it across different geographies, that as the need for speed or getting instant gratification is something that will come to Indian consumers as well. And a lot of consumer brands would rise who would want to move it in that direction there. So we started with food. We then moved towards grocery, entered into e-commerce, did pharma as well. Current stage, we are processing somewhere close to 7 lakh orders on a daily basis. We are backed by marquee investors, including Approach Ventures, IFC, Flipkart, NGP, Mirai, Qualcomm Ventures as well. Flipkart did an strategic investment in us, and we are proud to say the F-Quick or the 90-minute delivery that you see on the Flipkart app, that is fully 100% powered by us. So those of you who haven't tried it out, please go out there and try it out. You will get your fruits, vegetables, regular groceries, and at the time of Big Billion Day sale, you will get your phone delivers in as less than 30 minutes. So that's a quick snapshot about us. And these are some statistics to talk about the scale that we work with. Uh, the scale has been reached with constant innovation with good speed. Fortunately, COVID has had, we are fortunate enough that we are one of those businesses where COVID has accelerated uh, positions for us. And we have seen humongous demand coming in from multiple different brands just to accelerate the pace here. Currently live in 600 plus cities with 50,000 plus delivery partners active on a daily basis. And uh, yeah, just those statistics. I think the company means more all than that. The beauty of our work, or the beauty of our structure, is that we work across multiple sectors. So it's a one-stop solution. It's a one-stop from businesses perspective. It's a one-stop organization wherein if you have food orders, grocery, e-commerce, FMCG, consumer durables, BFSI, we work with all of them and we fulfill all those sectors with us. The brands who trust us, and we have been very fortunate to see some of the established as well as the new age companies that we are seeing uh, influencing our lives. We are trusted by all of them, and we understand that the kind of services, the kind of capabilities that we offer are truly valued by each of these brands. Coming to more from an innovation perspective, I think, I mean, it would not be wrong to say that almost every company talks about innovation. Every company says that we want to innovate. Maybe just want to share some anecdotes from the internal conversations that we keep having within our team. So our idea at Shadowfax is that we just don't want to be just another logistics company, or we don't want to be just another company. We want that we are pioneers in this field. We want to see ourselves. When we look back, when people write case studies, when people write books, they say that Shadowfax introduced such ecosystems, Shadowfax introduced such capabilities, which are now a commonplace in the entire supply chain and logistics industry. And if we are able to achieve that goal, if we are able to strive towards that, that is something that we mean from innovation. We want to contribute in a way that it becomes a fundamental part of of an industry which is age old, which has been in existence for so many years. We want to ensure that we are able to bring in fundamental changes in the way we work, in the way we optimize, in the way we figure solutions to the ongoing problems. I think, Suvrat, I'll hand it over to you for FarEye. We have been fortunate enough that they are participating as co-sponsors for us. Suvrat, over to you to give a brief about FarEye.
Thanks, Vaibhav. Thanks for the introduction. Hi, everyone. Hope you're having you have a good evening. So, as Vaibhav was sharing, I'm Suvrat, CPO at FarEye, and really excited to be here, sharing the screen with Vaibhav and the Shadowfax team actually to talk more about this initiative, this event, Leap. So, before we get to actually the topics and such, I wanted to quickly introduce FarEye. FarEye is a SaaS B2B platform autonomous logistics and supply chains. And our vision really is to make deliveries and logistics better for everyone. And I think the first question that you might have is, what is everyone? Who is everyone? Really, everyone in this case refers to our customers, drivers, consumers, and anyone who is involved in this ecosystem. Really, we aim to make that better for all of those entities. How do we do that, right? And what is it about, right? So this is the ability for us to eventually create smart automation in supply chains and get multiple participants, like I called out, to really be independent, intelligent decision makers in their own way, right? And to do that across delivery. The company, just to share a little bit about the company was founded a few years back in Noida. It was founded by Kushal, Gaurav, and Gautam. These are three co-founders. And since then, we have created a very strong global footprint. Over 150 plus global logos working across 30 countries, take dependencies on the platform in order to make their business happen every day. We have some marquee investors. One of them is common across Shadowfax and us. These marquee investors have been with us for a while: DHL, Microsoft, Honeywell, Elevation Capital, Eight Roads, TCV, and Dragoneer, to just name some. Right? The company is growing quickly, and again, similar to Weber and this space, we have seen a nice tailwind come through in what's happened over the last couple of years with COVID, and with just a push into automation of these supply chains, with the last mile delivery in particular, but global deliveries as a whole. Our platform is growing very quickly, and we do support a ton of deliveries across the world. It's used by over tens of thousands of drivers on a daily basis. They do millions of over a million kilometers per day on the platform. Just to close it out, and the company has really a strong offering for most all of these customers we talked about. And the key business needs that we hit at are really these three. The first one is cost optimization, where customers are looking to improve or optimize on the way they do their deliveries across costs. The second one, of course, is the consumer experience. And the third one is revenue, right? So we'd like to hit at all three value propositions for our customers and give the best ROI, give the best value back to them as much as possible. All of this is created on a very scalable, robust platform, as you can imagine. It's a SaaS platform with 150 plus customers. You got to be able to provide that in a global infrastructure in a scalable and flexible way. So that's a little bit about FarEye, and let's talk a little bit about the LEAP program, right? As Vaibhav had introduced it, there's several topics that are here, and we are looking forward for your engagement, involvement. 200 plus teams is a phenomenal participation rate in order to drive some of the solutions here. These are, I think, all interesting, all hard problems, and would love to get your eyes on these. Would you go to the next one?
So I'll maybe just interject for a minute. So just wanted to focus on the fact that the problem statements that we have been able to think up, they are more towards a guidelines in the direction of the overall theme. The overall theme which we want you to focus on is that what is the future of delivery delight? What is the next thing? So we want you to innovate to create delivery delight. So something like live tracking, which was sort of a unique thing 4 or 5 years back, is now a commonplace thing. What do you think is the technology, is the platform, or a solution which would create the delivery delight moving forward? So while the problem statements they reflect our thought process on some of the ways in which delivery delight could be created, we'll be happy to understand and explore solutions which you guys feel would create the right delivery delight as well. Sorry, Subrat, you can continue, please.
Yeah, that's a great call out, Vaibhav. I'll try to reiterate that or for sure. So there's 4 problem statements that we have here. I'll introduce the first one, and that's the traveling customer problem. I think this is something that all of us would be familiar with, right? As a customer, as a consumer, I'm sure all of you have placed online orders. You have some expectation built up, everything from the order process to expectation of when the order will be delivered. You want to live track it. The order comes through. There's a delight experience there. And we really want you to take that experience and bring it to bear into this problem, right? The entire order journey is something that, while seemingly simple from our end consumer lens, is incredibly hard from what happens behind the scenes. If you can imagine taking an order in, enabling the consumer to pick a particular time slot, and then creating that route where a delivery captain is going to go in, a delivery executive is going to go in, pick up the order, be able to create that route through traffic, bring it to the doorstep, and complete the experience is quite an incredible task. Keep in mind that this happens across multiple companies, multiple routes, multiple delivery captains, and happens for millions of times a day, right? And so what we wanted to have, what would be great is if you can take a lens of the consumer on this, and hence the name, the traveling customer or traveling consumer problem. If you turn it around its head and take a consumer first approach, figure out what types of constraints exist on this delivery, but at the same time achieve the best optimization and best delivery that you can get, that would be a phenomenal thing to look at. As Weber was hinting at, if you can stretch it in different places, for example, think about sustainable routes, right? Think about what can we do in order to make the driver experience a little better. I think that would be a great way to look at this problem. We have put in some teasers here in order to stimulate your thinking, to get your thought process going. Happy to stretch it in a couple of different ways if that's kind of the way you want to take it. Just to tie it out in the end, I hinted at three areas that we really look at from FarEye. It's providing a top-line revenue improvement, cost optimization, and end consumer experience. And all three play into this problem quite strongly. This is a revenue enabler for the company to offer something that's relatively unique. This is a cost optimization that benefits everyone in the journey. And of course, as an end consumer, all of us have experienced the delight on saying, hey, promise this delivery, it's there. Sometimes even like a positive experience of coming in a little bit before time, which may or may not be good. But the ability for us to have that confidence in the delivery coming through 100% of the time is brilliant. So that's what this problem is about. I want to hand it off back to Vaibhav to talk about the other three.
Thank you, Suvrat. That was super helpful and a good problem, to be honest. I think one of the key important factor there is that it amalgamates multiple stakeholders. It eases the life of multiple stakeholders in a single manner, be it the end customer, be it the business, or be it the driver who is there at the back. I'll move on to the next problem statement, and this we have themed as need for speed, most wanted. So as a simple sort of a thing, we get our food in 30 minutes, but when we have to get our groceries, we have to wait for 90 minutes. And when we order from Amazon or Flipkart, the earliest that we can get is next day. I mean, if we can get food in 30 minutes, we should be able to get other things as well as early as possible. So what we want you to spend your resources, spend your time in researching and developing a POC, which will enable as quick as 15 minutes grocery delivery and same day e-commerce delivery at scale. So we are looking out for solutions that if as a household, I run out of particular grocery items, I should be able to replenish that in as less as 15 minutes. And if I have ordered a mobile phone, I should be able to get it on the same day itself. How do we achieve that at scale? What are the technology innovations that would be needed to do that? Can AI play a role in this, wherein we can predictively understand what would be the customer order patterns? For example, if I am a regular buyer of grocery from a platform X, can that platform understand what are the things that I would need or would I be running in shortage of? And instead of me particularly asking that platform to order it for me, can it self-procure and maybe deliver it to me at a particular point of time? So the idea here is, and these are certain side notes, as Suvrat mentioned, these are teasers. You can think in multiple other directions, but the idea is that as the customer sees, as the customer thinks that I want XYZ, they should be able to get it as early as possible and at scale. So what are the innovations that are needed to work it in that directions is something that we look forward to. We have certain other ideas here. Can kiranas, for example, play a role in this? Can you work with kiranas at larger scale and ensure that since they are present across your localities, can they assist in delivering in 15 minutes? And can the likes of MyGate or No Broker, can they assist us in understanding the higher speed of deliveries here? So this is problem statement 2. Problem statement 3. This is more from a perspective of building a consistent customer experience. So see the idea. So in the first, in the earlier problems, we understood that a delight is created when, as you think, you get the things that you need. What this also means is that there are a lot of delivery partners who would be visiting your doorstep in a week. And there are multiple cases, even in the current scenario, where we do not have the same consistent great experience with each one of them. You would say that this particular guy did good, but the other packet was not delivered on time. You could say that the politeness, the grooming of that delivery partner was not that great. At the same time, when we are working with such a wide workforce, it is also common that certain fraudulent actors also enter into the system. Now, the core idea here is that how can we build a consistent customer experience here? When at the end of the day, your experience is a function of a human that you will be interacting with. That human may be from a different background, the human may be working in a different setup. How do we ensure that we have a consistent experience in that direction? So the sub notes here include that how do we detect and correct frauds in a system in a timely manner? So at Shadowfax, for example, we have seen there are certain set of riders who earlier used to work with a company X. They were marked as bad apple because they were committing fraud in that company. But when they entered into Shadowfax, we had no idea about that piece. Is there a way in which we can understand, we can create a common aggregate database wherein the stakeholders are incentivized to add the performance details of these delivery partners, and same can be driven as a customer in driving the right algorithms from a customer perspective. At the same time, also one more thing that we want to focus on here is, and I'm pretty sure you guys would have also observed it sometime or the other. In 1 out of 100 deliveries that happens to us, we do get a bad experience. So while the first part of the problem is to ensure that we have a consistent customer experience, but still there are 1% cases where we do not get that. And as a result of it, number of us, we tend to resort to social media, we tend to tweet, we tend to try to email to the CXOs of that company to get our issue resolved. Now that's not a smooth process, that's not a customer delight. Is there a future of customer support? Is there a way in which a, a grieve a grieving party can actually get resolution to their problems in a fair and in a manner that it does not require much of its mind space? So we can innovate in that direction there. we have highlighted the use of blockchain technology in this because if we are looking, for example, to build a centralized database, uh, we can possibly look to build it using the themes of blockchain technology in a way that it ensures the right amount of trust. At the same time, it also ensures that the different stakeholders are incentivized at different legs of it. So yeah, we'll move on to the fourth problem statement. Uh, the idea here is again that a happy fleet delivers happy experiences. So I mean, it's a common thing that if you want to keep your clients happy, you have to keep your employees happy. Now, how do you keep your fleet happy? And they do not have that luxury, or they do not have that smooth a life to live in. They spend hours on the road, they battle traffic, rain, sun, and whatever be it, and still they deliver things at your doorstep. So how can we make their lives simpler? And how can we actually assist them in this entire journey? Because if they are able to, I mean, if they are able to actually have a more smoother journey in delivering orders, you will have a more pleasant experience with them. So ideas around it are, can real-time intelligence on traffic be generated, or roadblocks be generated that beats Google? So I'm not sure, but a lot of us in the logistics industry, we feel that even Google is not that accurate with respect to all the nuances that are there. Is there a way in which we can identify the roadblocks, the one way, which do not get updated into the Google ecosystem, but are available as local intelligence to our delivery partners who travel in and around in that area? Riders also need understanding of what are the best places of work, what is the expected time to pick it up from a restaurant or a dark store, and the overall idea of having the right predictability about the entire network is there. So these are some of the ideas here. So the core theme is that how can you aggregate local intelligence? How can you identify local intelligence and use that at scale to assist your delivery partner so that they can create the right customer experience? Moving, so these were some of the guidelines from our side. So first we started with an optimization problem. Second, we figured out how we can increase the speed. Then we focused on how we can ensure that consistent customer experience is there, the right support processes can be there, the fleet that is there is trusted, is verified, and finally we thought that how can we make lives better for our delivery partners as well. The evaluation criteria, and as we mentioned earlier, these are just the guidelines. Feel free to reimagine what the future of delivering delight would be. What creates a wow factor to the end customer? What would be those things which people will start building solutions as they hear it? The evaluation criteria here depends on the following things. Definitely how innovative the idea is, and then demo is something that we'll give good focus on. So we just want to highlight that, I mean, it's a hackathon, it's not a case study thing. So we would not say that, hey guys, we have this solution, build it up on our slides. But we would prefer if an MVP or if a small working demo can actually be made so that one can understand the practicality of this idea of implementing it. Then alignment with the theme is something that we are looking at. I think the problem statement, alignment with problem statement is something that can be ignored, and we'll correct it in this copy as well. The overall thought is to have it aligned with the theme. Then relevance to the problem. As mentioned again, the code must run. Definitely it should do something real. And the difficulty of the problem statement, I think that is something that the jury will take care depending from case to case. So Yeah, that's mostly from the evaluation criteria. I think that sums it up from our perspective as well, and we'll be open for questions now.
Thank you, Vaibhav. Thank you, Subrat, so much. So we had collected a few questions from the participants. If you're okay, we can start with that.
Sure, we can start. Yeah.
Yeah. So one question was: is it okay for me to build build on two problem statements instead of just one?
I think you can. I mean, I don't see any rule which prohibits that. You can build that, and both of them would be evaluated in independence, independent of each other. And if both of them are good, you get two submissions to present to the jury. If one is better than the other, you get one, and so on.
All right. So we have another question from Ashish. He says, what is the expected length of POC?
There is no particular guideline around it. The idea is that your proof of concept should technically be a proof that this thing can be implemented, this thing can be executed. We are not looking, or we will not evaluate how strong or how deep is your AI algorithm, or how deep is your blockchain implementation. Having said that, when we are looking to build an algorithm which optimizes for the different constraints that the end user would have, we would definitely want to understand the efficiency of that model there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Weber. Hope that answers your question, Ashish. We'll move on to the next question by Shubham. He asked, will we be mentored after submitting the concept note?
Yes. There will be mentors who will be assisting. Yeah.
So you'll be mentored team-wise, Shubham. Yeah. So not to worry about that. So we had another question, Weber, that which problem statement is the most important for this hackathon? If you had to pick one, which one would you have picked?
I'll maybe leave it for Subrat to answer, but if you ask me my preference, I would go for problem number 2. I'm a freak for early deliveries. I generally realize late that I do not have grocery, or I need a mobile charger. My mobile is running out of battery. So I would want a solution which could deliver things to me in fast. That is the delight for me. But yeah, I leave it to Suvrat for his thoughts as well on this.
Yes, Subrat.
Yeah, I think we're going to. Thanks, Vaibhav. I think we're going to get a comprehensive answer here, because I'm going to pick the other three. You're asking to pick between favorite children. That's not fair. Each one of those problems has got a nice nuance. There's more of the cutting edge advanced work like blockchain, and there's more of the here and now. And I think all of them are really great. There's enough there for anyone to sink their teeth into and really get a very BT solution out there.
Great. Yeah, because even all the problem statements, when I read it personally, even I want those solved. I want the groceries to be delivered within 90 minutes, right? Story of our lives.
15 minutes, Yashad.
15 minutes, yes. 15 minutes. Great. So guys, if you have any questions, please fire away your questions right now. You'll never get this opportunity again. We won't have Vaibhav and Subrat in the same call for you to answer your questions. Please fire away whatever questions you have.
I hope that we were able to explain the problem statements in a proper manner. The thought process that we have from our perspective, I hope we were able to explain that.
Yes. The problem statement, even it was, I could understand the problem statement being a non-techie. So it was pretty clear. So I guess that's it. We don't have any more questions from the participants. Guys, do you have any questions? Please.
Yes, I think we just got one question come in.
Just 1 second.
Yeah, I think I can maybe read it out. What will be the process of judging, like leveling and levels, or if there's anything along those lines? Maybe Weber, we can cover that.
I think we'll come up with the judging criteria. So first, basis the concept note, we'll be shortlisting, and then the mentoring sessions would start where teams would get time to prepare the POC. On the final judgment that will happen, the folks who have their POCs ready. So we'll come with the guidelines on how many POCs or how many teams would get a chance to present it to the judges. We'll share that soon.
Great. So we have another question from anonymous attendee. What will be the timeline? I guess I'll be able to answer that. Please go to the registration page. There is a tab called timeline. You'll find all the details there. Okay. And we have another question from Kartike Mahavar. Will you be able to provide required resources like API data, etc.?
This will be on a case-to-case basis. There are certain sets of data which are available with us. Basis the concept note, we will be able to share those thoughts with the respective teams. There are certain sets of data which may not be available or which may contain certain PII data. And at that point, we will also communicate the same to the team, and the mentors will assist in how to get public data sets in those directions.
Great, great. So are there any specifications about using API? We have already answered that question. Any format for concept note submission? What all should it include? If you have anything to add to that, Weber.
I think the guidelines, mostly adhering to the guidelines that we have mentioned. The idea is that it should give a snapshot of what the solution that you wish to try, and by going through it, it should get an idea of what. So it should explain what problem you want to solve and a small note on how you wish to solve. And the final thing is that what would you be demonstrating in your POC? So these are some recommendations from my side, but I think if maybe we can just check it out if these guidelines are published well on the hackathon page. If not, we'll publish the same. Yeah.
We already have those. We have already also added. You can also add a flowchart to show how your thought process is.
Okay.
And let's go on to the next question. Any format of concept note that we have already answered. Will there be any support for testing out our solutions?
There will be support. So in case you need, in case your POC needs certain ground data, we'll be happy to assist. If it requires certain APIs, as we discussed earlier, we'll be able to assist in that direction. So again, the mentors will be there. They'll be able to take contextual calls on that. Having said that, any specific testing or any specific thing, we should keep the timelines in our mind so that the results of our POC should not, for example, take a week to mature. We need to accordingly plan.
Thank you very so much. So the next question is by Salil. Are the internal tech teams of Shadowfax already working on these problem statements? If yes, any area of focus which you want us to target, somewhat like targeting a sub-problem? They want some sneak peek from you, I guess.
So it will be wrong for me to say that we aren't working. There are some of the things that we have been working, but in all honesty, none of these problem statements have been shared with the internal tech teams earlier. Then we discussed it right now. So in case targeting any sub problem, see, I would say from each of the problem statement, there is enough depth if you go into that problem. And what we would want to understand is how deep can you think for some of the trivial looking problems. So I'll just take one example. So let's say creating the future of customer support. Now, a simplistic solution is definitely to have an automated chat bot. But what we would appreciate is that, do we think that is the future? Do we think that it can actually be able to address 99% of the customer queries in a way that the customer NPS is also at a high? So that is the depth that we would want to look at, right? So that is the leap. Right now, if you say that if we have instead of a chatbot, we would introduce a voice bot, uh, maybe it does not address the core problem that is there with the support process, right? So that is some sub part which I would like to focus, that going into the right depth is something which we look forward to.
Anything that you would want to add, Subrat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think correct. I would just plus one to that. Yeah, I think you covered it well.
Oh, great. So we have another question. Can we use third-party solutions or APIs which are already present and come with some unique solutions?
Short answer, yes. Slightly long answer, definitely you can use if they are not the core. I mean, they should not be the core of your solution. So, for example, let's say your solution is that we want to analyze the sentiment of the customer conversation or the support conversation that is happening. Now, if you use a third-party software which just analyzes the sentiment of it, that beats the purpose. But if you say that we will build a decision tree basis the sentiment that is extracted, we will accordingly adjust the parameters, or we will accordingly figure out the right solution, and sentiment is just one part of that block, then feel free to use the third-party APIs or solutions there.
Yeah. So guys, use third-party solutions. It's just don't plagiarize anything. It'll be difficult.
Yeah, again, I mean, just another example. I mean, if you are saying from optimization perspective, now, if you just use an optimization library, and the only thing that you have done is that you have tweaked the parameters there, that is not the thing that we are looking for. And we'll appreciate novelty or innovation in that direction there. Are you looking for detailed coding or algorithms in POC round? Sorry, I read the question.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So we are not looking for detailed coding or algorithm in the POC. Oh, sorry, in the POC. Sorry, in the POC round, we will be looking at a demo. We will not be going into the nitty-gritties of the code that you have written, the quality of code that you have written. What we would appreciate is that the code should run. It should not be, let's say, a video that you are presenting of that code, of that demo. So a live demo in itself would speak wonders about the work that you have done. And in certain cases, yes, if, for example, there are certain solutions which would require certain ground intervention which cannot be demonstrated as a live demo, we'll be open for a live video. But the core theme or the core philosophy is that the solution should be built during this journey. It should not be a pre-innovated solution that you are just coming and presenting at that point of time. That will be slightly unfair to the other participants who will be working during this time for this problem statements.
Great. So I guess that was the last questions, guys. If you have any questions, post it now. Otherwise, we will wrap it up for today. Any questions? I guess that is it. So thank you so much, Subrat. Thank you so much, Vaibhav, for with this great webinar. Great, you explained the problem statement very well. Thank you so much. I guess we'll wrap it up today.
Thank you so much, Yashidra. Thank you, Subrat. Yeah. Thank you for taking time in the morning. So for everyone,
It's the morning, yeah, it's morning.
and not only morning, early morning, really early morning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all good. Really excited to see this hackathon. Like awesome. Good luck, participants, and thanks for joining the webinar. Hopefully, this was useful for you, and really look forward to your participation.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.